This is going to be an unboxing and tool review video of the Vulcan MigMax 215. Normally I'd do this on a tailgate. Don't have a tailgate available. I got this frame here. That's a dump truck. We're not going to use it. Tailgate's a little hot. We're going to start this with an unboxing. Then we're going to move into a tool review. After the tool review, we're going to have some outtakes where the camera blew over several times. I even caught the camera mid-fall. So, enjoy! Too far in before the we already had the camera tip over. I caught it once or twice and then it finally tipped over and hit the ground. Busted the screen loose, but anyway. Alright, here we go. We're about to do an unboxing and review of the Vulcan MigMax 215. I already purchased and have used the Vulcan Pro MIG 205. Pretty happy with that machine. It has a lot of features that other machines of that price range didn't have. And I've watched a few videos on the Vulcan MigMax 215. It seems to have a lot of features also that the similar price machines do not have. What I do like about both machines, they are both a inverter technology machines. Improves the efficiency of the machine. You do have to worry about keeping it clean, servicing it, that type of thing. But that's because the circuits and stuff in there have to be cool. They do have their cooling fans built into the machine, but you got to be able to clean the machine occasionally to keep that dust and stuff from building up, especially your grinding dust and stuff from being in a shop or a dirty work environment. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and unbox this thing. I'd have to say as a review, with the Pro TIG, it was a good enough machine. Here I am buying the Pro MIG. Again, both Vulcan machines. These are the top-end products from Harbor Freight. The reason I left it in this box is so you can see what it looks like in the store. If you don't see it on display, you'll see this brown box. They usually keep it in the brown box in the storage room. Once they put it on display, I think they take it out of the brown box and show you the display box. That's the way my Pro TIG was in the store as well. It was in the back room and it was in the brown box. I purchased that at a store in Nebraska, and here I am in Kansas with this one. So rather than fight to dig it out of the box, went ahead and just cut the two front sides there, fold that flat down. So here we go. This is already going to tell you what comes in the box. You got your TIG gun, or your MIG gun, your gas regulator, your grounding clamp. Also options are a spool gun, welding cart, your filler materials, your PPE. This has the spindle adapter for both of your 8-inch and or 10 and 12 pound spools. You can also put a 1 pound spool on this. It comes with some standard consumables. I went ahead and purchased the 10 pound spool while I was at the store and some extra consumables for that 10 pound spool because I plan on doing a lot of sheet metal work right now in the immediate future, and so that's where I was going with that. This machine, like the other Pro TIG, these both will work on 120 or 240 volt, so you can work with pretty much any input. That's what's nice about the inverter machines. If you need to do some heavy welding, or you already have a 220 volt or 240 volt input, a plug or outlet in your workshop or your workspace. Talking with my hands a lot. So what's nice about both machines is you can use 120 volt or 240 volt inputs. So if you already have your 240 volt in your shop or workspace, you're good to go. Or if you got to take the machine to a buddy's house or somewhere else, you can still plug into the 120 volt. And that's that's the reason I couldn't use my older welder, my older MIG welder, is it doesn't have the capability of being plugged into both. It's 240 volt only, and where I was working at didn't have that available. I currently now have made it available. We'll wait for the wind. So the reason I couldn't use my older MIG welder was because I didn't have 110. It would not work on 120 volt. So here I do have a new MIG welder. I like the Pro TIG enough to buy the Pro MIG, or the MigMax here. Thought the camera flowed over. Alright. Waiting on the wind to calm down. Alright, so what I like about these new modern machines is the inverter technology allows you to plug in 120 or 240 volt inputs. You can do the higher amperage welding with the 240 volts, of course, but at least you can use the welder, especially on thinner metals or sheet metals, with 120 volt. That's what I like about the inverter technologies, both with the MigMax and the Pro TIG machines. This machine does come with its MIG gun, your ground, and some consumables. It is spool gun ready, so you can do aluminum with the spool gun. This does have settings for both aluminum and steel, as well as your flux core wire. I believe this comes with flux core, just as a hunch. Didn't say, but I prefer to go with just standard MIG, not flux core. You already got the machinery, and the gas doesn't cost much if you have a place available to get a tank filled or exchange your tanks. Another feature I'm already seeing that I like about this machine, the machine setting parameters are pretty automatic. It walks you through the settings, and we'll show you those after we open the box here. Alright, so here's your instructions and warranty card, I'm sure. So we didn't throw that too far away. Alright. Foam packing. Foam packing. Look at that cardboard. Truck bed. Grounding clamp. Seems to already be attached to the machine. I was fixing to say I already have a ground clamp for the TIG welder, so I wasn't really looking to unpack that. But being that this one seems to be attached to the machine, we'll keep going. What else do we got? This is your the rest of your consumables. Looks like it's got the knurled drive roll, gas hose, the MIG gun, some MIG accessories, your input cords for both 240 volt and 120 volt, your regulator for your gas, and a sheet metal gauge. They do not sell the sheet metal gauge at the Harbor Freight stores, but it does come with their fancy Vulcan machines. Alright, we've got a block of foam. We'll get that out of the way. We'll tuck it back in the box so it doesn't flow away. Here's your argon CO2 regulator. I already have a regulator out for the TIG machine. We'll leave that in its packaging for now. I'm assuming this would be your MIG gun. I'm going to set this box back here. Just talking away, aren't we? Look at the camera case. Alright. Alright, so here's your hose for the gas regulator. Sheet metal thickness gauge. I'll show you a little close up of this guy. So that shows your thickness is in gauge, and that's in thousandths on the other side. Nice gauge. Like I said, they don't sell them at the store, so hang on to that little joker. I actually have my other one on a cable and a key ring. There's your 110 volt power cord. We'll hang on to that. 220 volt power cord. I actually have made up a new one for the particular 220 volt outlet I have in my camper. Yes, I did adapt my 50 amp camper to a 30 amp 220 volt or 240 volt camper. Have an output in my stowage bay, because I do enough welding to make that worth my while. Alright, so here's your MIG gun. Go ahead and get that out. Alright, from what I understand, they do use Tweco style consumables. This is the this is for the flux core. Not going to use that. The gun is already currently set up for MIG, and that looks pretty self-explanatory for its connection. And that connects to the machine to turn gas off and on. That's set to the side. Save the gauge to the side. Here's the drive wheel. It's reversible. Set up for 30, 35, and 45. Here's your alright, pull the machine out. Alright, nothing left in there except for the stuff we put back in and some pump blocks. So we'll pull the fancy plastic bag here off. And we have put that back in there so it doesn't blow away. Yes, the ground is permanently attached to the machine. You don't see that on the display, unfortunately. I would prefer it be some sort of removable. That's my first down to this. I mean, it is permanently wired to the machine, which keeps you from losing it or misplacing it when you go to do a project somewhere. But now you have to wrap that up somewhere on the machine when you move the machine. Alright, what I do like about this, and I saw it on the display, and pretty simple setup. First switch here, flux cores, stainless steel, steel C25 and steel C100, and spool gun for aluminum. That's the first knob here. There's your wire settings. You got 025 wire, 030 wire, and 035 wire. Pretty quick. Oh, and manual. But that's pretty simple setup. You're welding your 30 wire, put your setting on 30, and then set your gauge. And then there's your feed speed right here. So that'd be pretty simple, quick setup. I like that. So for what I would be doing, I'll double check. Probably C25, 030 wire, set my gauge. I'm going to probably be on between 20 and 22 and 16 gauge for the most part. I'm doing extra thick sheet metal for my floorboard, 16 for the subfloor and a large chunk of the floorboard. And then I'll probably be doing some 22 gauge for the body panels. So we got 30 set up there, and we'll set our 16 there. And all I have to do then is fine tune my feed speed on the wire itself, and this would be set up ready to go. So haven't even broke out the directions or opened the side panel yet, and I've got a pretty good clue of where my settings are going to be. So let's go ahead and pop this panel open. There you go. There's your setting instructions, polarity settings. So obviously for welding aluminum, you're going to change polarity. Your duty cycle ratings, your gauges, like I said. Gauges are pretty self-explanatory even without this chart. And then so you got your shielding gas, polarity, wire types, material, mild steel, stainless steel, aluminum. So all your stuff is pretty self-explanatory right here on the inside of the lid. A lot nicer than some of the old school stuff I've had. So I'll back off. Probably try to zoom in. Pause while I zoom in. All right, there we go. back out. All right, so showed you the chart. Yeah, it's got a nice, well, it's not super nice, but this cast hot metal looks like, but nice big bearing to keep the wire in contact with the feed wheel. We already have a feed wheel on here. I don't know if that's a spare or different sizes. Okay, this one's a 020, 025, 030, and 035. So that's the larger sizes. Again, they've got 030 and 035 covered twice with both wheels. Between both wheels, you've got those sizes covered twice. So we're going to stick that guy in here just to save it. This is a little screw with a, we'll call it a thumb screw. It's got its own little plastic head to the screw, so it just, no tooling required. So that little guy goes on there. Back off, show you that again. So there's your thumb screw. And okay, what's nice about this, I just noticed that on this wheel. If the numbers are facing you, the grooves are actually to the back. So for 030 and 035, the groove for that is in the back, and the numbers would be facing out. Easy setup. And if your numbers are like 045, the groove for that is in the back, but your numbers are facing you. So that's a quick, easy setup. So you're not trying to guess or do things backwards. I guess it's backwards on purpose in a way. So, all right, this is loose currently. I'm going to feed this into there for the setup. So we've got the O-rings and that groove. That is where that screw goes, is in the groove. Set that up. Push that in. O-rings, come on. Probably should have had just a tiny bit of something there. Probably an oil, I don't know. Get that a little wet. Keep it real clean. Back that screw back out some more. There it is. Had it screwed in too far. So now the gun is installed nice and firmly, actually, already. Connector for the gas connector. Goes into the port. It is keyed. Looks like the large part faces up. We'll zoom in for that later. There it is. Alright. And your gas actually flows into the front of this machine. Well, take that back. Gas in up here. Okay, this is the gas for the spool gun. So the spool gun gas is an output here on the front of the machine. This MIG gun already has its gas through those O-rings in this feature. And obviously your wire feeds here. We're not going to load the wire in right now. We're not ready to use the machine due to the wind today. So we're going to go ahead and give a quick review. Like the settings on the machine, how easy they are to set up. It's an inverter machine, makes it lighter, more energy efficient. The ability to set up both 110 and 220. Okay, all right. There we go. You can't close the lid with this knob down. There you go. That knob goes down, up, latches your wire into the feed mechanism, and that's set up, ready to go. On-off switches on the front of the machine. We're going to zoom into the front of the machine, show you all those features again. All right. Real quick recap. The controls on the front of the machine are pretty self-explanatory, even without the instructions and the cheat sheet on the inside of the machine. Flux core, stainless steel C25, steel C100, and your aluminum setting with the spool gun for the spool gun. So common steel, I'm sure. That's first setting. Then I would set the wire. In my case, I bought 030 because I didn't see 025 available in the store today. Primarily going to be welding 16 gauge. So you're set there, you're set there, you're set there. That's 3 settings right away. And then yours is your wire feed rate, wire speed or feed rate. And just off the top of my head, I would start in the middle, which you typically do with most MIG welders. There's your on-off switch. This is the gas output for the spool gun. This is the connector to tell the gas solenoid on and off for the MIG gun, not the spool gun. The spool gun would be for your aluminum, primarily for aluminum. And then this was quick, easy install. It's already getting dirty from just laying on the ground here. But there you are, set up for MIG. They also have a different nozzle for flux core, and it uses Tweco style consumables. We're done. Alright, this is the review part of the video. We've had a chance to use this thing for several months. In fact, the footage is so old, I forgot I had it. I thought I'd already posted it. Found it the other day while I was editing another video. This MigMax 215 is an inverter style machine. I've said that 100 times probably in this video. But there's the inside of the cover, a little bit better, hopefully. It goes over the manual settings. You set your process with your flux core, stainless steel, steel with C25 gas, steel with C100 gas, or aluminum welding. Then you set your wire diameter. Then you're going to set your wire feed, and last your voltage / material thickness. And that's what this chart really goes over. It'll get you in the ballpark, get you started. It'll get you welded pretty decent right off the bat. I still tend to find I turn it up a little bit hotter because that's my personal preferences. I'd rather a good hot weld with good penetration. You know, and you could always dial it back down. Get it, you know, if you weld for a while, it gets a little hot. You dial it back down. You're good to go. These are 11-pound spool. That's 035, and it does literally say 11 pounds right there. So I was not incorrect earlier in the video when I was talking about 10-pound spools. This is obviously those are Forney brand tips. We got the Vulcan ones from the same store. Obviously, got 030s, 025s. Right now we're loaded up with 030 wire. I've actually lost a spool of 030. Don't know where it went. I do have some 025 for the thinner sheet metal. Still have the, because we have to be able to change these wheels out. I keep myself a pair of the cheap, or the better kind of medium cheap dikes in here. That's for cutting wire and stuff when it gets all tangled up. I absolutely love this machine. Very happy with it. The feed mechanism is much better than the old Clark welder I've had. I don't even remember how good or bad the original Lincoln I had was. Well over 20 years ago. And that thing was flux core only. I never managed to get the gas kit for it. So pretty happy, like I said, pretty happy with the machine. The settings go up pretty quick. It welds really well. I've maybe run into the duty cycle a few times. Or I've got it to where the fans kick on to a higher stage where it's a little louder. But done a lot of welding with it. Fabricated, say, the cross member and some other pieces, all for this truck and some other projects with this welder. I've done some sheet metal welding on this same project. Put new floor pans and rocker panels on, so I'm pretty happy with the way it welds both thin sheet metal and heavier gauge metal. I've had plenty of opportunity to use it under 240 volt mode, as well as there's a couple times where I've just had to plug it in real quick to 110, you know, stitch some stuff together and go with it. So great machine for the money. I like it. I've bought 2 of their Vulcan machines, both the TIG welder and the MIG welder. Expect some footage of the TIG welder soon, because I still have the unboxing video from way back. So that concludes this portion of this video. Hey, I'm going to interrupt this video just for a second. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your buddies, binge watch some of this stuff, dig up some of the older footage off the channel, because it's there to be watched, and that's how we're going to grow this channel. Is you guys have to go and watch those videos for me, because I can't do it. All right, here we go, guys. Hopefully the audio is not too close to the camera. It improves the efficiency of both models. A lot of modern machines are going to this inverter technology. Makes them. Oh, lose the camera. All right, we're gonna try. Yes, caught the camera. It fall.